Welcome to Retail Pricing Unlocked, the podcast powered by InsightTrack. With over 15 years of experience supporting retailers, we share expert insights and strategies to help you turn pricing into a competitive advantage. Now, here's today's episode.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we're taking a closer look at, well, a business belief that's incredibly common, but often, actually, quite misguided. It's this idea that just discounting more and more automatically means more growth, especially, in today's really competitive markets.
Yes, it's pervasive.
It is, isn't it? It's so tempting. Sales dip a bit, or maybe you've got stock you need to shift, and that first reaction is often, right, let's just cut prices, get that quick boost.
That immediate hit.
Exactly. But what if that instinct, while it feels good for a moment, maybe gives you a temporary lift, actually doesn't build any lasting market share? What if, worse, it could be actively hurting your brand in the long run?
That's the real danger.
So we're going to explore today why these constant price cuts can be so problematic, and importantly, how a smarter pricing strategy might offer a more sustainable and, frankly, a much more profitable way forward.
That's spot on. What we often see is this very notion that simply lowering prices guarantees growth is, well, it's a common but often quite damaging myth. You look at the immediate sales figures, and yeah, you might see a spike. It looks like positive momentum.
Looks good on the chart for that week.
Precisely. But underneath that temporary bump, there can be some really significant long-term problems brewing. We're talking things like, severely eroded margins.
Really?
A brand that just starts to feel a bit cheap, maybe, in the eyes of your most loyal customers. You start attracting the wrong kind of shopper, the one who's only ever chasing the lowest price, not your actual value.
A bargain hunter.
Exactly. And ultimately, you can foster this market environment where endless price wars just become the norm. It really undermines the whole foundation of profitability. The real secret, if you like, to sustain market share growth isn't just lowering prices. It's about pricing intelligently.
Okay, so let's unpack that a bit then, this idea of the discount trap. Because we all know discounting can be, well, easy, it's immediate, it feels effective short-term.
It does.
Retailers use it all the time, don't they? Shifting old inventory, hitting maybe a quarterly target, boosting conversions when things are quiet. And yes, in that specific moment, it can absolutely work.
For that specific goal, yes.
But here's the interesting bit, and maybe a bit worrying for you listening. What happens when discounts stop being just a tactical tool, a strategic flick of the wrist? What happens when they become the default, the main lever you pull for growth?
That's precisely the challenge. Because the critical problem, really, is that discounts, when you overuse them, they actually lose their effectiveness over time.
They stop being special.
Exactly. They stop being an exciting incentive, and instead, they just morph into a simple expectation. Customers actually learn to wait for the sale, which makes it incredibly difficult then to sell your products at their full intended price. Think about it. If your favorite shop always seems to have a sale on, why would you ever pay full price?
You just wouldn't. You'd time your purchase.
Precisely. And when that happens, you're not really gaining deep loyalty anymore. You're sort of just renting attention, forcing your business to run harder and faster, just to, well, stand still.
Right, so it becomes this constant treadmill of discounting.
Exactly that. And the ripple effects, the sort of knock-on effects of doing this frequently, they're quite severe. Firstly, and most obviously, you get eroded margins.
Okay.
This directly hits the profitability that's absolutely crucial for reinvestment, for innovation, for any kind of genuine long-term growth.
Can't invest if you're not making enough profit.
Exactly. Secondly, your brand gets devalued. Constant sales diminish its perceived worth, its integrity. You're essentially sending a message to customers, aren't you, that your products aren't truly worth their full asking price. If you keep telling people something is worth less,
They start to believe you.
they start to believe you.
That point about brand devaluation is really powerful. But I suppose the pushback is, in a crowded market where everyone else seems to be discounting all the time, how does a business avoid getting left behind if they try to hold firm on price? It feels like you're caught, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Between a rock and a hard place.
It absolutely does feel like that sometimes. And that leads straight into the third major problem, unsustainable price wars.
Right.
When one competitor cuts prices aggressively, others feel forced to follow. It becomes reactive.
A domino effect.
Completely. This forces deeper and deeper cuts across the board, leading to that dreaded race to the bottom where, honestly, it No one truly wins. Profits just shrink for everyone involved.
Hmm.
And finally, linked to the brand point, you start attracting primarily price-sensitive shoppers. These customers typically have very low retention rates.
They're not sticky.
Not at all. They're just chasing the next cheap option, not building any real loyalty to your brand. So yes, they might give you an initial sales bump, but they're very unlikely to stick around or become, your most profitable long-term customers. You end up spending more to acquire them.
Only for them to leave when the next discount pops up elsewhere?
Precisely. It's a costly cycle.
So it's really clear then that constant blanket discounting isn't some magic bullet for growth.
Which brings us to the crucial next question. If that's not the answer for genuine lasting success, what does smarter pricing actually look like? And just to be clear, we're not saying never ever discount.
No, absolutely not.
Discounts definitely have their place tactically, but smarter pricing seems to mean treating price as a precise strategic lever rather than just a blunt instrument you hit things with.
That's it, exactly.
And our sources point to 4 sort of key pillars of this strategic pricing approach. Precisely. And when we talk about strategic pricing, it really is all about being deliberate, being thoughtful, and critically, being data-driven. The first pillar is targeted discounts, not blanket promotions.
Okay.
So instead of, say, offering 20% off everything in your store, which hits your margin everywhere,
Right.
data allows for incredibly specific targeting. Think about maybe a clothing brand. Instead of a site-wide sale, they might offer a welcome incentive just for first-time buyers.
On their first purchase.
Yes. Or maybe reactivation offers to tempt back lapsed customers, perhaps with a discount on a specific new collection they might like.
Right, tailored.
Or perhaps they run a flash sale only on a very specific high-intent product category where they know customers are actively comparing prices right now.
So you're surgical about it.
Exactly. This way, you protect your broader margin while still creating really compelling offers exactly where they'll have the most impact, and crucially, for the right customer at the right time. You're not just penalizing your loyal full-price customers.
That's a really important nuance, isn't it? Protecting that existing loyal base while still bringing new people in. What's the second pillar then?
The second pillar is segment-based pricing. What's fascinating here, and often overlooked, is that different customers actually have very different levels of willingness to pay.
Right.
Dynamic segmentation lets you adjust pricing or promotions based on factors like their customer lifetime value, or CLV.
How much they're likely to spend with you over time.
Exactly. Or maybe their regional behavior, the channel they use, even how often they buy. Imagine an airline, for example. They're a classic case.
Yeah.
They don't just offer one price, do they? They have different fare classes, loyalty program discounts, maybe even geo-specific promotions based on where you're booking from.
Mm-hmm.
This lets you tailor offers to appeal to specific groups without cheapening the overall brand perception for absolutely everyone. You're finding that sweet spot for different segments.
That makes perfect sense. It's definitely not a one-size-fits-all world anymore, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, what about the third pillar?
Third, we have timing-based tactics. This sounds simple, but it's powerful. Promotions really work best when they align naturally with demand, rather than just being tied to random calendar dates.
Right, not just, it's Tuesday, let's have a sale.
Precisely. Smarter pricing means moving beyond that. You use historical sales trends, you look at seasonal demand patterns, you even get insights into your competitors' promotional cadences to time your own offers for maximum effect.
So you're more strategic about the calendar.
Much more. For instance, instead of a generic summer sale, maybe a garden center strategically discounts specific outdoor furniture just as the weather forecast predicts a heat wave.
Ah, smart.
Or they offer early bird discounts on winter plants back in the autumn. It's about being proactive and intelligent with your timing, not just reactive or arbitrary.
So aligning the offer with when your customer is most likely to actually want to buy it rather than just trying to force a sale. Makes sense. And the fourth pillar?
And finally, and this is perhaps the most powerful lever of all, it's value-based differentiation. Competing solely on price, as we've said, is often a losing game, especially if your product or service actually has more to offer than just being the cheapest.
Right.
This pillar is all about highlighting what makes your offering genuinely different and, crucially, worth more to the customer. It's not just about faster delivery or slightly better quality anymore, though those can count.
So what else could it be?
Well, think about it. Could it be the peace of mind knowing their data is handled with unparalleled security? That's huge value for some customers.
Sure.
Or maybe it's the exclusive community access and expert support that comes with your purchase. Or perhaps it's just an unparalleled design and user experience that saves customers time and frustration every day.
Things that aren't just about the physical product.
Exactly. These are all powerful reasons why customers will not only pay more, but they'll actually feel better about their purchase because they feel they're buying true value, not just a low price. It completely shifts the conversation from how cheap can I get it to how valuable is this to me?
This whole strategic approach sounds like a complete game changer compared to just slashing prices. But I can see a potential hurdle. For businesses that are scaling up, growing quickly, it sounds like it could get really complex really fast.
It can.
How do they actually put these smart pricing ideas into practice effectively without it becoming this overwhelming manual task? Can this truly be managed with, spreadsheets and guesswork, or do you really need to look beyond that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Manual guesswork, spreadsheets, they just won't cut it. Once you move beyond a pretty small number of products or SKUs, it becomes impossible.
Right.
And this is precisely where automation and price intelligence platforms become, well, truly indispensable.
Okay, so technology is key here.
It really is. These platforms allow businesses to do several crucial things, and importantly, do them at speed. They monitor real-time competitor pricing and their stock availability.
See what everyone else is doing.
Exactly. They let you dynamically adjust your own prices based on predefined rules and thresholds that you set strategically.
So it's automated but controlled.
Controlled automation, yes. And crucially, they help identify market gaps opportunities where you might be able to win market share without having to just drop your margins significantly.
Finding those pockets.
Finding the pockets. They also help segment customers and products based on their pricing sensitivity, as we discussed. And really importantly, they let you analyze the actual return on investment, the ROI of your past promotions to guide your future strategy, so you learn what works. The key distinction here, I think, is that this isn't just about pricing faster. It's about pricing smarter, but doing it at speed and with precision.
That's a crucial distinction. Smarter, not just faster. But it leads me to another thought.
Yeah.
Is it enough to just have one of these tools? Because I can imagine some businesses might invest in a platform, get the login, but still kind of struggle to get the real value. What's the difference between just buying a piece of software and actually having a strategic tech partner?
That's a really, really insightful question. And it's where many businesses, frankly, can stumble. There's a critical difference between just buying a tool and truly engaging with a strategic tech partner.
Okay.
A typical tool, often it provides you with just a login, maybe some basic pricing data, probably minimal setup support, and then it's a kind of right off you go, you figure it out approach to the actual strategy.
Here's the data. Good luck.
Pretty much. And teams using these basic tools, they frequently face challenges, things like SKUs not tracking correctly or struggling to react effectively to competitor promotions because they don't really understand the why behind the data they're seeing, or just figuring out how to integrate complex pricing logic like segment-based rules without proper guidance. These generic tools often don't adapt with your business, they don't really guide you strategically, and they certainly don't get to know your unique business context.
Or there are hidden costs there.
Absolutely. The missed opportunities, the sheer time wasted on troubleshooting, being constantly reactive rather than proactive, these are the very real, often hidden costs of just having a tool.
So it's really not just about the features on a list, is it? It's about the ongoing strategy, the adaptation, the support that a true partner brings. That shift in mindset alone sounds incredibly valuable.
It really is. What a true pricing partner offers, by contrast, is much more like an extension of your own commercial team.
Okay.
They provide not just the software platform, but ongoing support, deep strategic insight, and crucially, operational scalability. This means support that truly knows your business, dedicated customer success managers, tailored onboarding that actually anticipates your needs. It's proactive, informed support, not just a generic help desk ticket.
Right.
They also offer training that builds your internal team's expertise. And this focuses not just on how to click buttons on the platform, but on the underlying strategy, how to build smarter pricing rules, how to interpret subtle market movements, how to really maximize automation for your specific business goals.
Building capability internally.
Exactly. And critically, they provide strategic advice based on real data, helping your team interpret complex market shifts, identify those nuanced opportunities we talked about, and importantly, avoid overreacting to every little competitor move. This allows your team to execute pricing decisions with genuine confidence and ultimately A true partner offers a platform that truly grows with you, one that's built for scale, offering things like custom integrations, flexible rule configurations that can handle complexity, and advanced analytics that adapt seamlessly as your business evolves, whether you're adding thousands more SKUs, expanding into new countries, or just dealing with increased market complexity. They really act as your strategic co-pilot, not just a dashboard you glance at.
It's clear then, the long-term gains aren't just sort of small, incremental improvements. They sound absolutely foundational to how a brand thrives in the long run. So if we pull all of this together, thinking about the bigger picture, what's the ultimate enduring value that businesses gain from embracing this kind of smarter pricing strategy, especially when it's supported by a genuine tech partner?
Yeah, zooming out, the long-term value of doing pricing smartly, using these strategic approaches, and having that robust partner support, it's profound, really. Firstly, and perhaps most importantly for sustainability, you gain healthier margins. You protect that profitability that's absolutely essential for reinvestment and sustainable growth, not just chasing those temporary sales spikes.
Right.
You also see better customer retention because customers start buying for the inherent value of your brand, for the experience you offer, not just because you're running another fleeting discount.
They value you more.
Yep. They value you more. And this naturally leads to sustainable market share gains. You grow strategically by holding on to those valuable customers, the ones who appreciate your value, instead of constantly churning through new ones acquired via costly short-term promotions.
Makes sense.
And crucially, all of this builds and maintains your brand integrity, ensuring your pricing consistently reflects your desired brand positioning in the market, whether that's premium, value-driven, or somewhere specific in between. It really reinforces the idea that pricing isn't just about isolated transactions. It fundamentally shapes how your entire brand is perceived and valued in the market over the long term. It's about building lasting equity.
That makes perfect sense. So just to recap our exploration today, it seems clear that simply discounting more often just creates temporary noise. Yes, maybe a short-term spike in sales, but it comes at a really significant long-term cost, both to your margins and maybe even more importantly, to your brand equity. The really successful retailers and businesses out there, the ones building lasting value, seem to be the ones who prioritize strategic pricing. They use targeted offers, not blanket ones. They differentiate on genuine value, not just price. And they smartly leverage data and automation, often with a partner, to compete intelligently.
Well put.
My final thought for you, our listener, to consider is this. The future of effective pricing isn't merely about having access to more and more data. It's really about turning that data into fast, smart, scalable action. And that crucial step, that translation from data to effective action, often doesn't happen just with a generic tool. It happens most effectively with a strategic partner who truly understands your unique business and can help you navigate its complexities.
Absolutely. And perhaps a final provocative thought to leave with everyone is this. Are you just reacting to the market day to day, or are you actively building a resilient, profitable future? Because pricing strategy isn't really plug and play, and neither is sustainable growth. Thanks so much for joining us on this exploration today.
Indeed. We really hope this has given you plenty to mull over regarding your own pricing strategies and approach. Until next time, keep exploring.
You've been listening to Retail Pricing Unlocked, brought to you by InsightTrack. For more resources, case studies, and expert support, visit insighttrack.com. Make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and join us again next week.